debating, don't need no fans to liberate. Cut the bullshit, you're just hating. Playoffs now will be dominating. Damn, Fnatic, you're here? After a whole split of playing like shit?
So what? We struggled just a little bit. Got knocked down, took a few hits. Took our time standing up, now I admit. Not here to pretend had a bad split. Maybe it's time that we shift gears. Show them the Fnatic that you fear. The one with the penners and the big plays. We could bring him back for a few days. G2 is just a name on a list. Revenge for Fnatic, got time, this is it. Can't wait to watch your reign collapse. What you gonna do, just buy another cap? I'm sorry, but this rivalry still lives in me. Acknowledge me, Fnatic army, come to end your party. I will always be your adversary. You should be very wary, a curse kinda scary. Ticket to the cemetery as we return to glory.
Back to back to back, you know these titles start to stack. Just like all your failed splits, start to think that this is it. Fnatic, you've lost the magic, it's tragic. Once a classic, now just over dramatic. A soap opera, I'm on the edge of my seat. Who the fans gonna ask to bench this week? Nothing to discuss, Caps chose us. You don't have to trust, your team just sucks. G2 getting trophies, Fnatic getting mentions. Maybe it's time for an intervention. Fnatic, let's make one thing clear. You're only rivals in the mirror. We don't beat you, you beat yourself. Pathetic, go and get some help.
Well, that was about the best introduction possible. You guys at home didn't get to see the live rendition from Andrew Vedius Day. It is the last game of our Kings match here between G2 and Fnatic. And once again, G2 will be blue side, Fnatic will be on the red side. Vedius ended. Talk me through draft, talk me through expectations here. The pressure's on Fnatic. 2 games in a row that they have really been pushed and really been punished by G2. One of them they managed to win thanks to a G2 blunder, but Vedius, how did they turn around in game 5?
Well, I think I'm surprised that Fnatic have chosen to go on the red side once again. I was expecting them to take blue so they could get higher priority, but they're committed to getting these counter picks down. It makes me wonder what they're going to do about the Ashe this time around, because it clearly seems to me that G2 is more than happy to first pick it, and honestly, I feel like Perkz has looked the best when he's been put on that Ashe pick.
I completely agree. I think if you're able to get Ashe on blue side, all your bot lane problems are going to be solved. That being said, I think red side does open you up to have the answer for the AD carry pick, to have an answer for the support pick if you want as well. So to me, that screams Fnatic want to play for some strong bot lane answers and also that final soul lane counter.
4 games in a row, the first pick on blue side for G2 has been Senna, and Ashe. 3 games of Senna, and this might just be the best picks and bans music I've ever heard.
Just thumping.
I want to see if Sett will be dealt with by Fnatic. I agree with what Kedril and the analysts were talking about just before the break. It has felt like Jankos and G2 have got huge advantages, and this will mimic the bans from the previous games so far. Eve, Nautilus, and Hecarim from G2. That is a pivot away from the Thresh.
I do like this as a move. Even though they've been able to beat the Hecarim has always looked good for Fnatic. So removing that, they do give the Thresh over, potentially. But I feel like if I'm G2, I'm willing to deal with that. Hylissang's Leona was not the most impressive. And there's the Ashe for G2. I feel like that is just going to win your bot lane.
I feel like if you're Fnatic now, you just insta-lock Senna Thresh. I feel like that's the play. You cannot afford to give Ashe Thresh over because of how strong that 2 versus 2 is. So if I'm Fnatic, that's what I would want to lock in. Maybe even consider a Lucian lock-in if they don't want to lock in the center right now, just so that they can take that away.
I mean, the question is, will Selfmade now go to an AP jungle? Because G2, after 4 games, realized, okay, we're banning not just the Evelynn, but also the Hecarim away from Selfmade. So he's going to have to find the pivot. The Karthus was that pivot in their series against Rogue, but that is a very hard scaling direction that he would be taking so many resources in Fnatic's final game.
Is this going to be the Thresh that Vedius just talked about? All series long, the second pick has been either a jungler or that support, and that's it. So this time around, the Thresh secured as opposed to the Nautilus, which is obviously in the ban list. And with the Hecarim removed from the pool, where will Selfmade go? Also, what does Mikyx play in the support role? We have been saying all series long we like him on the engaged supports. So like to see that one come back as the Sett LeBlanc run back.
Yeah, I think you just get to wait on the support pick because once again, Fnatic left the LeBlanc open, and this will still remain a problem because now G2 have so many playmaking opportunities still. The long-range engage of the Ashe, LeBlanc in the early laning phase. The Sett can run through jungle matchups early on, and this is exactly what G2 want to snowball the game.
Well, I have a couple thoughts because I think that G2, they should have considered going for a Tahm Kench. I understand that they really value the LeBlanc, but in my opinion, Caps has been beating Nemesis in pretty much every matchup. And I think that what they could have done here is just lock Tahm Kench, guaranteed a safe, strong 2v2, especially into the Thresh, and then save your mid lane pick for later. Because now, Fnatic gone back to Comfort for Nemesis. I mean, he's always been playing Comfort, right? But he's got himself the Lucian, and now G2 need to ban away AP jungle.
Vedius, in a game 5, what do you want Caps carrying on? To me, it's the LeBlanc every single time. He will 1v9 the game.
And if you're a Fnatic fan, what do you want Nemesis on? He's undefeated on Lucian in playoffs. He's got a 17 KDA. Admittedly, it was 2 games. It's found itself in the ban pool multiple times. But Nemesis, it is now or never. It's not just the finals on the line. The whole world is watching. And the question is, how good can you play?
Nemesis has been given the lane bully. He's been given a lot here too, but this pick always means Selfmade is going to be AP champion in the jungle. The Lilia is the first banned away. I would not be surprised to see a Karthus banned out here too. And now it's for Selfmade way down the priority list.
Tahm Kench is actually still up. I think that's not a terrible pick here for G2 if they want to get themselves the Ornn alongside that. But I think right now their ban is going to have to be the Karthus. Fnatic can then look to something like the Gragas. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. When I think of AP junglers, I'm thinking Echo, Gragas, Diana, and of the 3, Gragas makes the most sense when it acts as an engage. And I think that under the assumption that G2 are likely to go for an Ornn, as they need a slightly more reliable way to start fights off outside of the Ashe arrow, then Fnatic likely want to save their last pick for the counter, which will probably end up being the GP.
Yeah, and I mean, if it is a Gragas come through, you then have some gank opportunities that Selfmade hasn't really felt early on into the game. It will be the Gragas locked in. That means Predator Boots are very likely for him to play around. But now, I mean, we're talking about the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench, not a great answer into the Gragas. His ultimate offers you many tools here. So, dare I say it,
maybe the Braum
is this
better.
the Mikyx Braum run back?
Maybe the Braum better.
Oh, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. We felt so strongly that we didn't want this off the game 1. Now, compositionally speaking,
it is good,
into Lucian, Thresh, Gragas, I probably like it a little bit more.
This game, it also, like, G2 have other ways to start off fights. In that game 1, you really didn't have that many tools, right? Remember, they're like playing the Gnar, the Akali, all this stuff, but Perkz has the ability to begin fights. Caps with his change. Jankos in the jungle too. All of these players, and now Wunder in the top lane on the Ornn. They have the setup needed to get the ball rolling.
What does Bwipo run into the Ornn? You can feel the energy. It is not banned. It is available. It is something Bwipo has done a lot. And you can feel the excitement here as we wait for this final lock-in. Vedius, give me a zoom out on what your anticipation and expectations are going to be for the draft, as there is the Gangplank you just talked about.
Well, so I think that Fnatic could quite easily play through the bot side of the map. The biggest thing is going to be mid lane, in my opinion, because when you have Lucian versus LeBlanc, on paper, this feels like a Lucian-favored matchup initially, but I can see how it can very easily be a skill matchup, and so far this series, Caps has had Nemesis's number in lane. So I think that whoever gets the early advantage is going to help swing the momentum of this game and dictate who will eventually be the champ.
Let's find out who will be the first finalist of the LEC Summer season. Fnatic have picked up more wins this series than all year against G2 Esports. And frankly, it is up to Fnatic to prove that they can play with the big boys G2. 2 games in a row, it has been G2 favored, and we are down to this, the last time on Summoner's Rift for G2 versus Fnatic.
This is game 5 here, and I recall that the first part of the draft is similar to game 4, but explain to me the second rotation here and your goal in the early game against Fnatic this game.
I mean, as before, right? We try to snowball through mid into bot, get some Drax advantages. This time around, Evolution, who's a bit more self-sufficient in lane than his other picks, so maybe he doesn't hug tower this game. So it will be a bit harder, but still, of course, aiming to have a strong early game presence, and then Ornn can be weak side, top side. We play for objectives, as I said, and that's the goal.
All right, well, we'll see how things go for you. And now, back to you, casters, for game 5.
So, based on what Grab said, they want to play towards bot side by getting prio through mid. So, Ender, talk to me about jungle matchup here. If you're Jankos, do you look for a level 2 player into a Lucian, or do you... What's your early pathing?
I mean, right now, Jankos looks like you might want to make a level 1 play. I think level 2 play into Lucian can work if you go straight after a red buff, because that means he won't have his E just yet, so the dash will not be there. But I think by starting on the blue buff, he's likely just going to try to clear out the bot side jungle. Again, like Grabs was saying, they want to play around the bot area of the map, play for the early Drakes. So by splitting the map right there at level 1, it's going to create a lot of pressure on Rekkles and Hylissang right off the bat.
You can see a hook does land in the 2 versus 2. Mickey, though, feeling
can go mid, actually. Like, Nemesis
yep.
is so far pushed up in this lane.
Going to be pushing forward. Flash is available to Nemesis. Selfmade is nearby. Level 2 on both junglers. A couple of autos coming down as Nemesis will get that passive off.
Well,
Now there's the siege. Flash for Flash. Jankos trades his for Nemesis's, and that's going to be pretty happy for G2 Esports.
There's not a lot of reaction time on that from Nemesis. That was very clutch for him to get away, but this is where the strength of Sett lies. When Nemesis will not have a flash for the next 5 minutes, Jankos gets Hex Flash, which works off of Nimbus Cloak. You get all that movement speed, so Fnatic need excellent vision control around mid lane, because now it's so easy for Caps to set up the gank with a chain, followed up by Jankos popping out of the fog of war, and that will be instant death for Nemesis.
And if you aren't watching and hearing some audio glitches, we are aware and we are working on it. As now you can see Perkz and Mikyx stepping forward just ever so slightly. While in the meantime, Bwipo is pushing that top lane all the way towards the tower of Wunder. No surprise in terms of the matchup right now.
He's already forced the TP out from Wunder. A very good trade in the early laning phase meant that Wunder was forced to go back to base. Nemesis, though, being forced to play a little bit more defensively after losing his flash. This is guaranteeing Caps the early prio, and again, comes back to what we were talking about, and the fact that Nemesis has to play defensively means that Caps can look for opportunities elsewhere, as Selfmade is moving towards the top side.
Yeah, I think right now Nemesis has a lot of potions, as Wunder does take a nice trade up towards the top side. I was checking that one out, because G2 are really committing around this middle lane, trying to funnel the Scuttle Crabs into Jankos and give him that pressure.
Double skull again?
He has the top side Scuttle and should be able to secure the bot one. Rekkles and Hylissang do have control over that bot side wave, and Jankos is committing up towards the top, just sitting around here so that I think Ornn can push the wave.
Good damage there onto Mikyx. Death Sentence into Flay. Big minion wave as well, pushing towards Perkz and Mikyx under the tower, down 7 CS for now. Nemesis on the Lucian, doubling up here with Selfmade and making the way to the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult to pull off of a dive here. There's an exhaust and a heal they have to worry about, so I think Fnatic make the right call to back away there, and just as soon as they go into the fog of war, the threat of the dive will loom on the horizon for G2's bot side of the map. And I think this threat will return in a couple of minutes, because, you know, we mentioned briefly in the top lane, Bwipo traded really aggro into Wunder to get him to back to base and forced to use that teleport early on. So there will be a mismatch for a little bit when Bwipo ticks over to level 6, where he has the global and Wunder won't be able to reply.
All right, Hex Flash comes down. Nemesis can get pulled back in just a moment. The chains need to connect, and it looks like they do. Nemesis will go down. First blood to Jankos. Wave the white flag in Fnatic's face.
Extremely well played there by Jankos, and he's actually just been playing up towards the top side of the map, and I feel like Nemesis, he had to push that wave out. He was forced in a difficult situation. Selfmade wasn't there to help support, and now Selfmade is even having more of his camp stolen away, and a lot of that comes off the back of those early plays from Jankos. We talked about it, and so far it's paying off for G2.
I mean, this is exactly what G2 needed to do, and Nemesis already in trouble, still won't have a flash, and Jankos still holding on to the Hex, so he's going to be able to come and make that happen. It's a situation where Hylissang does take a lot of damage down here, but I feel like when Nemesis loses his flash so early in the lane, the bottom lane from Fnatic almost need to force an early reset so that Hylissang can get some pressure around mid, because the 2v2 for G2 is obviously going to be one around mid lane, but I feel like the Thresh could be the thing to swing it back to Fnatic so they could get some control over the area.
Let's see if Hylissang can get unlocked. Jankos once again appearing on the map, threatening pressure onto Rekkles and Hilly. Hex Flash is available. He's going to find himself Rekkles. The Lantern is available after the pullback. And that means Hylissang and Rekkles will be able to turn this around, put some damage down onto Jankos. The Haymaker's done a lot. Here comes Selfmade and Nemesis, level 4 and 5 respectively. Hold our thoughts on whether or not this dive is going to go forward. Flash is available for Selfmade. He's not going to go under the tower just yet.
I think he just hit level 6, but his ult went on cooldown?
It does look like it. I didn't quite see where that was used. We'll have to check with the observers. And while we're figuring that out, I quickly have to ask all the fans at home.
He has ultimate. He has ultimate.
He does have it.
Who
Okay,
is going to win Game 5? Spam in chat, G2 or Fnatic. I know it's tense, it's 1 kill and 400 gold in favor of G2. And it looks like an observer bug, right, for the GPO.
Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to mention that was because we saw 4 members of Fnatic looking towards bot side. The play for a dive was very real, especially with Bwipo having access to his ulti, but Fnatic choose not to pull the trigger. Jankos will now finally get around to clearing his red buff. Definitely a little bit overdue, but he's sitting with a level advantage over Selfmade right now, and Fnatic with a slight gold lead.
I will say, though, that because of the ultimate threat from Bwipo, as well as Nemesis and Selfmade constantly, twice now, trying to move into that bottom lane and put down some pressure, Jankos has not been able to play for the early Drake, like Rabs was talking about. So we're in a very real situation where around the 8-minute mark, we're resetting and not actually pathing into the top lane. We're going to be pathing back towards bot side. Now, Jankos is here in the river first, and I think with Mikyx to follow him first there as well, they'll have the vision to potentially be able to set that up. But I think they might want to wait until Wunder's TP does return.
And if Jankos continues to find impact this game, you then start to question Fnatic's answer to it. They chose to let that one go through. Mikyx will be able to roam, and this was Fnatic's bottom lane. They managed to get their recall pickaxe and tier secured, and Hilly and Rekkles will just do a brief drive-by in that middle lane. Fnatic are falling a little further behind as far as the gold is concerned, and CS advantages, however minor, being picked up in the top and the middle lane for now.
Looks like right now the fans are behind G2, but that's closer than I thought. Based on G2's throw and then a commanding Game 4 performance, I was expecting chat to be a lot more G2-sided, but clearly there are still a lot of Fnatic faithful fans out there, and I think they do have a shot with the draft that they have gotten themselves. The gold, of course, still very even. Bwipo yet to use his ultimate anywhere for a play, but we see that the bot lane of G2 already on the rope.
And I mean, this is the most competitive Fnatic have been in 12 months against G2. So, rightful for the Fnatic fans to come out in support. But look at G2's moves now. You've got Jankos soloing out the Rift Herald. You've got the duo lane from G2 pushing forward. Level 6 secured for Perkz. And they'll just usher that minion wave in. And this will allow the recall from Caps. No TP available to him. And it doesn't look like they'll lose too much as that wave is just about to hit the tower.
Yeah, so G2 have been controlling vision around mid lane very, very well, cascading that pressure into the early Rift Herald for Jankos as well. I will say, though, that it has once again resulted in Perkz falling behind in this bottom lane. Yeah, he'll pick up some farm underneath that bot lane tower, but this is going to be the Rekkles again that probably will pick up some plates when they eventually swap and get out to a lead, but we have not seen Rekkles' advantages actually transitioned into anything meaningful for the rest of Fnatic.
That's very true. Last game we saw him sitting at a 0-0-0 scoreline once again, and we do see a bit of action in the bot lane.
So much damage onto Mikyx. Stays alive a few seconds longer. The exhaust and the Kia keeps him up, and the barrel won't be able to pick up the kill. Hylissang's over the wall. Selfmade's got flash available to him. That's the body slam flash combination. And here come the rest of G2. The root is going to be big. The death sentence into the play. Hylissang trying to turn this one around. Rekkles throws down the Dawning Shadow, and that does so much damage onto G2. Fnatic get the kill and get away.
It's a huge save right there to keep Selfmade alive. It looks like he was almost surely going to go die once Braum applied the passive to him. But I think Rekkles showed up, the hook as well from Hylissang, and they get
bad
out.
for Wunder.
Searing charge, didn't find its target. He must survive as observers will throw up the replay.
Let's have a look. So the hook does land on the Braum. He takes a huge chunk of damage. The stun does come down, and a clutch exhaust actually mitigates a lot of it. The ultimate not quite enough, as Ender highlighted before, and then we see Caps and Jankos join. And as Ender was saying, I thought at this point, Selfmade was going to lose his life, but the Gangplank ultimate comes in clutch, along with this hook that lands onto Caps, rooting him in place, means that the damage isn't there onto Selfmade, and Perkz realizes, okay, I don't have any mana left to commit to this, so beautifully well played from the bot lane of Fnatic there to stop Caps from getting that execute.
And now Fnatic may be able to turn this into the Dragon. Selfmade just going to be clearing this one out for now, because Wunder just used his teleport to get back into the top lane. This is the second time now he's used that ability to make it up to the top side, whereas Bwipo has his for the time being, but did use his ultimate earlier.
Let's take a look. A little bit of pressure from Caps here, just using the distortion over the wall. If you look at the river, 1, 2, 3, 4 members apiece inside. Mikyx's going to tag Rekkles though.
Bwipo does have teleport, whereas Wunder does not.
Let's find out what happens. Fnatic are able to secure the first dragon of the game. That is a Cloud. Infernal is next, which means we're going to get a Mountain or an Ocean Soul. The Lantern will be used to bring in some threat, but no further follow-up. G2, despite their posturing, unable to contest Dragon.
This is exactly what Fnatic want, though. They've slowed down the G2 Dragon game that you're supposed to be able to get with this power mid-jungle 2 versus 2. Selfmade's been able to get to level 7, all the way past the 6 point, and this bot lane's doing just fine, too. So Fnatic very much in a solid position. Even though this game does remain close, I think getting that first Drake is a big swing.
Yep, I agree with you, Ender, and I think that right now Fnatic is feeling comfortable. Gangplank ultimate not up just yet, but you can see that Bwipo playing very defensively because he knows that Sett's in the top side of the map. LeBlanc also looking for a roam up top, and Fnatic looking to make the cross map. Selfmade, he will spot out.
Oh, he doesn't see him, the vision.
He doesn't.
The vision does not see the recall from Mikyx. Bwipo respecting the potential dive, he backs away, so he does not concede another death. Or any
Giving this
death.
gold to Wunder?
That
Okay,
is...
oh, wait, it looks like Cap's catching on somehow. I don't know if it was just the global turret or not, but...
Okay, so significantly slower early game than the 2 previous. Jankos, despite his impact in mid onto Nemesis, has been unable to accelerate that further. And Fnatic, while they are down a tower right now, they are much more competitive and trading blow for blow. Thus far, 12 minutes into the game, down 700. They got a bunch of plates in that bottom lane. And the Rift Herald took the top tower.
Yeah, I mean, now would be a great chance, or a great time for us to check out the gold between these two teams and the players, if we could get that up on our screens, because the constant for Fnatic has been Rekkles gets so much gold down in the bottom lane, but the solo lanes of G2 are the ones that continually claw out advantages, and we're seeing that again with Wunder and Caps, especially on this LeBlanc. With an edge, he will be able to convert that into a lot more.
One of the trends that we've also been seeing is, oh, hang on, they know he's there.
Rekkles is going to be able to flash away.
Nice sidestep,
Summon a spell secured for only regular
Ooh, bit of a BM with the B there. I respect it, Rekkles, as he's able to sidestep Caps' aggression. But again, the thing that I want to highlight is that typically in this series, we've seen Selfmade on a carry, and that's where the other gold advantages have been coming from, because he power farms, he plays for himself, he gets early kills, and now he's on the Gragas. Gragas can make these game-changing ultimate plays, but the onus to carry is not on Selfmade right now. It's on the shoulders of Nemesis as Fnatic look to play in the bot side once again.
Mikyx going to be able to flash away from the death sentence. That saves his life, by the way. The Lasting Embrace didn't slow down or root Perkz, so he escapes as well. And to go back to what you were saying, Vedius, it's kind of indicative of how these teams play stylistically. You know, G2, when they made it to the World Final last year, when they won MSI, it was off the back of exceptionally strong solo laners, and now Caps is going to be forcing Nemesis away. That is how G2 made a name for themselves last year.
I wonder if Nemesis flashed there because he didn't realize Caps, that was the clone W right there going forward, because he used the W first to come in. He didn't quite have the burst damage to finish him off, but they're just running this all the way into the top lane.
Well, Bwipo's in trouble. Flash is available to him, Cannon Barrage as well. There's no support from anyone else. The Powder Keg will buy some time. While that's going on, Fnatic are going to take a tower in the bottom lane, and Bwipo is just taking them on a run. Cue the, is it Benny Hill music?
That's the one.
And he's running for his life.
Might just try to get an execute here, but he's not going to get it, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. Barrel will get interrupted. Minion blocking Caps. He continues to take them on a run. While that's going on, Fnatic are pushing down in the bottom lane. It's a dead even game thus far. And that will be the
eventually. Surely it'll happen. Come on.
Wait a minute, will it?
A lot of damage. Yep, Perkz and Mikyx arrive as well, and that's maybe even more problematic. Kill secured there by Caps after wasting a lot of time. So much time that Rekkles and Hilly get into the inner turrets.
Exactly that. They were able to push in through bot. They'll be able to move into the bot side jungle, rotate up into mid, and potentially threaten this tower. But Jankos securing this Rift Herald now means that G2, after a quick reset, can look to take the mid tower themselves.
Yeah, so, okay, we're going to get the cinematic angle on this one. All right, slaughters the innocent minions. Okay, have your fun.
We can see Caps here. Hey!
Okay, now to bring us back into Game 5 of G2 versus Fnatic, thank you for that wild ride across the Rift. It is still a 500 gold advantage to G2 Esports. The winner goes to finals next Sunday. The loser plays Rogue or Mad next Saturday. And I said this at the beginning of the game, I said this 30 minutes ago, the world is watching. What we're trying to see here is how our representatives that will place first, second, or third in seeding for the World Championships are going to shape up. And I'm happy to see Fnatic bouncing back after 2 very difficult games. They've got an element of control. They've managed to handle the early death by Nemesis, and they are just marginally behind G2 right now.
I mean, let's kind of recap the series, right? Because in game 1, Fnatic at this point in the game was pretty much in sole control, and it was G2 constantly playing on the back foot. Don't have time, arrow lands.
Rekkles instantly cleanses away. Hylissang does have flash available to him. He's holding on to it for now. Gets tagged by Winter's Bite despite the death sentence. Manages to double flay into the box. Cannon Barrage comes down. Selfmade gets the body slam. Barrel. Mikyx in trouble. Stays alive. Burnt down. That's the kill secured by Hilly. Now Jankos is trying to run amok inside the jungle of Fnatic. Rekkles stays alive to find the lantern and escape. Selfmade stays up just long enough for Nemesis to get in. The culling only takes out the clone before Caps takes him down. It's a 1-for-1 inside the jungle, and everything...
And it's not over yet. They're going to find Bwipo with the slows.
They absolutely are. Bwipo is now in trouble from the Rangers' focus. He's forced to flash away. Wunder's going to look for the Searing charge if he can. Bellows Breath available to him. Bwipo gets pulled backwards, haymaker to the face, and he's taken down. But it is at the cost of Caps. Another 1-for-1.
What happened to Caps? We're going to have to get a replay of that because this initially looked like it was just kill after kill after kill going in favor of G2, but Fnatic were able to get one back. Let's have a look here. The arrow does initiate onto Rekkles, and this is where Fnatic is on the retreat.
Yeah, but look, like it is a very split up fight, so the arrow does come through, but Ashe is not ready to fight. It is just Caps and Mikyx who have a lot of damage, but with the Senna shield and healing coming through, Caps cannot 100-0 Hylissang. This is where Selfmade comes in and of course trades, and this Jankos play, you can't follow up off it, because again, it's Caps. He doesn't really have the AoE damage without that jump forward coming through.
Selfmade Jankos must have assumed that Caps had that kill, which is why he immediately turned on to Selfmade there, and of course, once Selfmade does die,
so close.
Not able to get. Look at how low these bot laners are, and this must be where Caps commits to the kill, uses his W. Just comes off cooldown. He knows where Hylissang is.
I don't think he knows it. Hylissang got the heal though.
No! You beauty!
Good hook there. Happy B for Rekkles, that's for sure. But it is, at the end of the day, 4 kills to 3 in favor of G2. Gold's still very even.
Nearly 20 minutes into the game, 1 dragon apiece. Gold is irrelevant at this point. 4 kills to 3. The thing that is important to call out is G2 2-tower advantage over Fnatic. While that is standing gold, it will unlock some more possibilities for G2 to play around. And this is the tension that we wanted in a Game 5 between these two organizations. What is the next move here for G2 as they start to push forward? There is a wave from Bwipo being ushered into the top lane, and it looks like Nemesis is going to catch in the bottom lane.
Keep in mind, like, fights will break out so quickly in this game. Both teams have really solid long-range engage options. With G2, you have the Ornn and the Ashe. Fnatic, they of course have the Cannon Barrage, and Selfmade with the Predator can run you down. So this game will come down to who can gain control over mid, it feels like, and transition that into pressure inside lanes, or catch people overextended as these outer turrets start to fall down. And that's why I feel like G2 are in an advantage state, because all the outer turrets have fallen, is because it opens up so much more of the map for them to find picks and find these collapses onto Fnatic.
Bwipo, no flash available to him, but Fnatic is nearby. Hylissang, can he find the lantern? Not because of the showstopper. There's a Winter's Bite tag down, and somehow Bwipo stays alive just a few seconds longer. He will finally get taken out. Death Sentence connects onto Mikyx. And that's a lot of damage coming out from Rekkles, but the rest of Fnatic cannot find the target. Body slam comes down, 1-for-1. Top for support. Teleport coming out now from Nemesis.
Nemesis, he has calling.
In the middle of the G2 members. Ornn plays, as well as the Relentless Pursuit get used. Dashing and dodging around, using that passive. Wunder will likely fall as well. And Fnatic turn around the engage to find 3 kills.
Such a good hook, but Caps is still looking for picks. He's called out Rekkles.
So much damage coming out. Goodbye! Caps turns it 3 for 2 after it all.
Wow, what a clutch fight there. And it started off with G2 trying to get that collapse. Endo was setting it all up beautifully, and they're able to find that initial pick, but Fnatic answer back. They go toe-to-toe with G2. This is what we wanted to see in Game 5. And it looks like they're doing just that. The gold is dead even, the kills are dead even. G2 ahead in towers. But everything else aside from that is dead even between the two teams.
Okay, well, watch this one more time, because it starts out, the Herald went down. Bwipo knew Jankos was in the area, but he thought with the Lantern, surely he's safe. The arrow, though, forces the cleanse. That allows Jankos to pick up Bwipo, and then the chain CC will mean they can finish him off. But the turnaround comes with all this damage coming through. I mean, Rekkles hits Perkz there. Perkz can't really step forward, and that's when Selfmade hits the charge going forward with the Predator.
Honestly, I think that G2 expected Fnatic to disengage after that, but they didn't. Fnatic were like, we still have 3 healthy members. That hook onto Hylissang from Hylissang was beautiful because he's just acting as disruption. What could have been a huge ultimate, we don't have time because we've got another fight.
And this is exactly what you were saying, Ender. The fights will break out constantly.
Oh no, Caps is right there!
Teleport is now coming down. Caps is going to flash over the wall instantaneously. No crowd control to lock him down. 6 kills to 6. He gets the ethereal chains onto Rekkles, and the ECA will connect, but there's no further follow-up. Showstopper will bring Bwipo further backwards, but there's no damage to connect onto him. Bwipo continues to run for his life. Wunder and Mikyx are dashing forward, but they can't find any CC or damage to stick. It is an Ocean Dragon, and G2 appealing.
Ornn has just come back up, and Fnatic have every single ultimate except for the Gangplank one. I think Fnatic want to re-engage this. I think they want to fight G2.
You can see right now, Caps takes a lot of damage. Here comes the Ornn ult.
All of the Forge Guard will find
That's
it.
huge!
That's massive! But Wunder has no damage to follow up. The rest of G2 are sticking onto the Ocean Dragon. The culling is melting through Wunder's HP bar. He's down, he's low, he's dead. A parlay to the face kills him. The Dragon is still inside the pit.
Selfmade!
Get it! They get themselves the Dragon, and now they turn the attention onto the rest of GT. Hylissang, can he find the flare? Yes, he does. Looking for the death sentence as well. Now he's in trouble though, as Hilly will get a heal! Rekkles brings him back! The Dawning Shadow gives him a shield and a heal, and the rest of Fnatic continue the chase. Powder Kegs won't find themselves the targets, but Fnatic fight back!
What an intense team fight. So many things either missed, were dodged, were clutched up. This was crazy. This is where the Dragon starts off. Caps gets chunked out initially, the Ornn ulti comes through, but look at here from Wunder. He doesn't connect the knockup.
He misses
which means that the follow-up doesn't come through. G2 then can't commit to the fight, so Fnatic then just commit onto Wunder, and then this is where things get real tense.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic, G2 had been so split this entire time, so Selfmade comes into the pit. He flashes with his body slam, I think, too, for the extra damage to combo it down onto the Dragon.
Oh, and that flash from Nemesis,
I mean,
too.
Caps coming into the backline, trying to finish off Nemesis, just barely dodged away.
And then the heal.
This is the game 5 everybody wanted. These fights are so insanely close. We couldn't have asked for it better.
Absolutely fantastic. 36% of you fans at home said Fnatic would win this game. Spam in chat, FNC or G2, who will win game 5? We're 23 minutes in. Gold is even. Keep in mind, Fnatic have still only secured 1 tower. That is crucially important. If G2 can take advantage of the map control that they have, they can look to set up more picks. And when you look all the way down the kill scores, 1-0-6. Hylissang's Thresh this time around has been exquisite.
And I mean, even right there, it's not flashy, but trailing behind Nemesis as he wants to fully push in the wave. There's no turrets up in the top lane. So the collapse, as we said, G2's comp wants to execute on. If there's a lantern right there, he pulls Lucian out to safety, and they're going to be fine. And that is what Fnatic need to be on point against. There's so much long-range engage options. You cannot find yourself caught out of position without a friend there to help you out.
So, it's funny because whenever you end up in a game 5 with G2 versus Fnatic, what you often find is G2 will usually have the stronger mid-jungle, but then Fnatic often have the better scaling in the late game. And when we look at this comp from Fnatic, I think one of the biggest things is going to be this Gangplank ultimate, because note how it can easily separate and split up G2 and make it so much harder for them to actually play the 5 versus 5. So I think the longer this game goes on, the easier it actually gets for Fnatic, and the fact that they've kept things so close is only good for them.
And look at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, 54% of you at home now believe Fnatic can win this game. I mean, it's dead even. It's 25 minutes in. Dragon is going to be up in 2 minutes. Baron is available, and the risks are so high. Fnatic have not been able to beat G2 Esports since 2018 in spring. It would be mind-boggling for them to do it today, but they do need to knock over that final Nexus. And if you look at the minimap, if you look at the Rift, it is G2 that currently have control.
For G2, the fights, the game, it will come down to Caps right now. He's looking for Hylissang, but he gets hooked!
Death Sentence comes in. Caps is going to be able to distort all the way back. He manages to find Jankos. Selfmade fights him! Manages to land the cast. That's the 8th kill. He also did commit the cannon barrage. So 90 seconds until Dragon. There are Fnatic members moving towards Baron, but this might be risky.
Yeah, I'm evaluating if it's worth it right now. I don't
just
think
gonna clear the wards.
I think you just get as many out of towers as you can right now. Like, Perkz did a good job of pushing in mid, but Nemesis is going to secure that top tower. Fnatic is like, that's such a good pick for Fnatic. The fact that that kill went down, that's going to alleviate so much pressure. They get so much vision control around the Baron buff. They're going to be able to push in mid. Fnatic are going to feel like a lot more relaxed now that Caps is dead.
Yeah, I mean, Hylissang finding that pick there with the hook again. He's been in every single kill that Fnatic have found in this game. And for a split, a series even, that's been so topsy-turvy for him, it is Hylissang in the clutch to show up and shut down Caps.
Oh, I can't wait to see the discussion and the learnings from this game. 1,500 gold up off Fnatic right now, 2 towers to 4. And it does feel like the last few kills they've been able to pick up have been punishments. Like they've caught G2. They had the death bush in the red buff of G2. They responded to the tower dive top. But now Fnatic may be walking into a trap of their own. Hylissang gets caught out. The heal keeps him alive a few seconds longer, but he's down. Core of the Forge God flies across multiple members of Fnatic, and the teleport comes out from Bwipo. 9 seconds to Dragon as a numbers advantage to G2.
And so this is the biggest difference. Fnatic get a pick, but they can't convert it into much. G2 get a pick, and they can secure a Drake. But Fnatic right now, they're threatening the Baron, and they're saying, if you start that Drake, I'm going to take that Baron.
Yeah, Fnatic won't be able to commit to it, though. They do not have Thresh on the board, so they just wanted to cause the chaos a little bit, waste some of G2's time, as they still haven't fully committed. Just Perkz finishing off the Ocean. But this is where Game 5 has been different to every other game for Fnatic, because they already have 2 Drakes, so losing this one does not put them in a position where they're fighting against an Ocean Soul or Soul Point for G2. After a death like that, they can back up, lick their wounds, and live to fight another day.
I could just imagine fans right now sitting at home, wrapped around their pillow, like clutching it and biting into it because of how tense this game is.
This game is a clincher, Andrew Vedius. There's no doubt about it. And Fnatic are just marginally in the lead. The Dragon was picked up by G2, so the 4.5-minute timer is on the table. The later we go, the easier it'll be to take that Baron as well, and it's starting to get risky.
But I think it's really worth highlighting the itemization right now, because when we look at the items for Rekkles, he is fully, well, he's got 3 online. He's upgraded the Muramana. Same for Nemesis. He's at 2.5, working towards his 3rd. And you can also see, sorry, not Infinity Edge, the Essence Reaver plus the Trinity Force on the GP. All the gold, or the vast majority, is actually on Wunder. Yes, he's at 3 items, but Caps is only at 2. We don't see the death cap from him yet. We don't actually see any upgraded Ornn items yet coming out from the side of G2, which means that right now I just think that Fnatic is that much stronger.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, Wunder could give the upgrade to Caps' loot.
Oh, they're actually sitting on a lot of money right now.
That's true. I believe, yeah, I think they want to wait for Rabadons for the Infinity Edge too, because those items can be upgraded by Wunder.
Oh, let's see what happens as Fnatic are now pushing into the Bramble back. Still 3 minutes till Dragon. Jankos is going to step forward. Ends up winning that fight. Commits the smite to it as well. And you can just see as well, in comparison to all 4 previous games, the willingness with which to go and make those plays, to initiate fights, is not happening. We talked so much about items. Perkz just picked up the Infinity Edge. That is why...
Oh, look at the arrow!
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It will connect, but there was a dash as well. Gets pulled backwards. Call of the Forge God comes out. Nemesis will flash away from that one. Got a lot of damage onto Jankos. Multiple ultimates committed. And they do end up getting his flash.
But they get, exactly, they get the flash, and that's ultimately all that matters, because now there's no objective. They don't need that ultimate for anything, and on top of that, Perkz will get his upgraded Infinity Edge as well. So I think the play was worth it. Nemesis now has to be very careful, as Caps is going to be looking for him in the next.
Exactly, like Caps finding him in a side lane, and G2, the way you can watch it and look for where they want to make plays, they're going to be playing around Perkz, it feels like, or Caps, and a lot of it is going to come off of Perkz' arrow. When he has arrow, when they push out a lane, walk into the enemy jungle, look for targets, look for deep vision, because wards like that will set up picks for kills, for flashes, and future objectives.
I keep looking at the minimap, I keep looking at the vision, and it's been G2 dominated for several minutes, but they haven't been able to catch a Fnatic member out of position, and it does feel like both teams have kind of handshook and gone, if it's not a Dragon or a Baron, maybe we don't want to fight over it anymore. We haven't seen those dives, we haven't seen G2 even really crossing the halfway mark on the Rift. And Fnatic, similar situation.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is that the Soul is not really the big threat, it's the Baron. That's going to be the biggest objective that's going to swing the game in either direction, and whoever gets that can come very close to winning the game, depending on how the team fight plays out. G2 now grouping up. You can see Gangplank in the bot lane. No teleport, but does have the ultimate. Wunder just ticks 16, which means that he has the upgraded Ornn ulti. And both teams looking for a fight. But I think G2 need to wait for that death cap to be completed before they go for a fight. And this might be the window where Fnatic could actually force them.
Right now, Bwipo comes back to base, gets back onto the map because he doesn't have that teleport, of course. And it will be a trade of pressure constantly. Now that Baron is the only objective on the map, one top laner or mid laner, I guess, is going to have to go back down to the bottom lane, push out that wave fully. And that means the other team, Fnatic in this instance, can group up and get a little bit of vision back. But I think G2's attempt to get vision into the river is going to stick for them.
That's the death cap, now finished for Caps. Like, this is it, gentlemen. Like, both teams are ready, right? They've entered the arena, the items are good, the levels are through. Like, both teams are poised and ready to fight, and it's all gonna come down to the team fight that will decide who moves on to the finals and who ends up moving into the lower bracket.
But first, Caps is sprinting over to Wunder. He's like, come on, give me the item. Like, the death cap is good, the death crown is even better.
And there it is.
Got it.
It is. Molten Edge upgraded for Perkz, Death Crown for Caps in the middle lane. 30 seconds until the Ocean Dragon is up. It is the third one. It may not be worth throwing the entire game over, so if a team has an advantageous position, it may not be contested, but Baron is still open and available. We need to see whether or not either of these teams will contest. Fnatic are currently pushing through the mid lane, trying to put pressure on that tower.
They still can't take it down, though. The Drake is spawning in 7 seconds. This could be a quick shot. Arrow! Oh, it goes
the body
wide.
slam.
That's a big deal.
Bwipo sidesteps, 1 second. Okay, Ocean Dragon has just been spawned. And Vedius and I cannot get closer to the monitors because this game is so incredibly tense. Both teams playing with an immense amount of respect. A single mistake costs the series. A single mistake costs a guaranteed first or second seed at the World Championship. More importantly, a shot at the LEC title, the 8th one for either team. Caps gets chunked out by Bwipo. The Bwipo's going in! Bwipo flashes over the wall! He's not going to be able to find Caps, though. The Dragon has been peeled away. Wunder and Mikyx are inside Fnatic's jungle. Caps is able to escape. Now Wunder takes damage. Perkz and Jankos will be able to pick up the Ocean Dragon.
Look at Selfmade, look at Selfmade!
Waiting. The barrel will catch under Jankos. The rest of G2. Now they're starting to come together. Selfmade finds the kill. He goes golden for a few seconds, and the death sentence will not find his target. Core of the Forge God will knock up Nemesis into the air, and Caps goes down. 3 G2 members are down, but they did get the Dragon. How much more?
They're gonna get them all!
It's going to be the kills. It's going to be the ace. It's only going to cost 1 and the Dragon, and Fnatic are gonna push.
Fnatic smashed G2 in the team fight. They say, forget the Dragon. We're just gonna go straight for the base now. It is a long time before G2 come up. Fnatic are gonna break this wide open.
Fnatic are looking to end the game. Those death timers are huge. The teleport is going to come through from Bwipo. 8 seconds on Jankos. I don't know if this is the correct play from Fnatic, but they're going to go for a quick shot.
That's a lot of death timers, though. Jankos will just come up. This should be the inhibitor.
I think they can do it.
Do Fnatic keep pushing?
They can do it.
Do not pull a G2. Showstopper into the minions. That's a great
He got the minions. He got the minions. Oh my God. Jankos, you beautiful man.
Saves the game for G2.
Oh, what a clear from Jankos. He uses the ultimate. He uses the W. The minions are gone. Fnatic can't siege, but the jungler is dead. Oh, if Caps can interrupt the backs.
It doesn't look like he can.
Oh, he can get it.
Hylissang will land a death sentence. Body slam. Barrel is gone.
Oh,
He's gone. Selfmade sends his regards and sends Caps back to the fountain. 15 kills, 5,000 gold. And it's Fnatic in the lead. It's Fnatic in control.
Trevor, I can honestly not believe this. And Jankos is still dead. Fnatic, they're walking to the Baron. They're going for it. This is going to put them right into the advantage.
There's no one from G2 around. There's no one to stop this. Fnatic have secured the Baron with 0 contest from G2 Esports, and they are in the driving seat to pick up the series.
Oh my word. Let's have a look back at this team fight. Keep your eye on Caps versus Bwipo here. Look at how Bwipo just eliminates Caps from the fight. He stops him from doing anything, which means that the rest of Fnatic is very safe to play. They all commit. They're saying, let's kill Caps, let's kill Caps. And of course, they commit, and the fight becomes a little bit split up. But G2 are immediately on the run for the rest of this fight.
And on the bottom of the fight, Selfmade, you just saw the cast. He corralled G2 down there. He made made sure they could not escape here. And at the end of it, it is Bwipo that finishes the duel against Caps, snipes him out there, and Fnatic run away with the rest of the fight.
Oh my word, Fnatic played that fight so well, and they had their eyes on ending the game, and if it wasn't for Jankos, they could very well have done it. Clutch stuff coming up from Fnatic. They now sit with the Baron. They have a 7k gold lead, and they are so close to finally beating their rivals in a best of 5.
For the first time in a year, Fnatic are looking strong against G2. We got 2 5-game series last year, and Fnatic right now looking to end this one in Game 5 as they're sieging the middle lane.
The difference in 2020 for Fnatic was Selfmade. He sits 8-1-5. Fnatic have the Baron pushing into the base now, and Caps is on the flank.
And in the final game, Nemesis gets his hands on the Lucian and sends a big message to fans. Bwipo's in trouble, got caught out, he's taking G2 turn around! Caps blows up Selfmade. Bwipo's already down, but Nemesis is looking for the culling. He can't find the kill into Mikyx, and he's forced to run away. Jankos goes low, and Hilly's death sentence does not find a target. Rekkles needs to back away, and will not be able to find more. Okay, Fnatic lose 2. What?
My mouth is wide open. My jaws on the floor. I can't believe it. I thought that was it. I thought the Fnatic were gonna just end the game right then and there, but like, you can't give all the credit to Caps, but the fact that he just one-shot Selfmade from the flank, the fact that he was able to find that opportunity was beautiful, but the entire G2 team just committed to that play. Front to back, they just ran Fnatic down.
We have 2 teams that won a team fight, and G2 got it right there. It starts off here. I think the Ornn ultimate comes through and is going to be huge after they isolate Bwipo at the start. But he actually doesn't even get the Ornn ultimate up, but it doesn't matter because Caps explodes Selfmade there. No Zhonya's to come.
If you're a G2 fan, you want to see that happening more and more. Caps needs to blow up members of Fnatic again and again. They are still down. There are super minions pushing in the bottom lane, and the Ocean Soul is up for grabs for G2.
It's in 20 seconds, and Selfmade's flash is going to be up right in time for the fight. He used it in the last one. It will return. He's level 16, and his mission is to find Perkz and Caps in the back line.
This game is too intense, man. It's so intense. All right, Dragon, G2 might just give this one up. Wait, what if Caps actually tries to steal it over the wall? Remember the QR combo?
That's a lot of damage. I mean, Jankos too, he has Hex Flash, and there's not a Baron for 3 minutes. This could just be a 50-50 steal and get the hell out.
Caps out, he's gonna go for the try. Death Sentence almost catches him, but the Dragon is secured by Fnatic. Level heads, they pulled the Dragon out of the pit. They played that one as safely as they could. The super minions, this should be the last couple of waves pushing into the base. As you can see, the respawn time at 30 seconds away. And I think the next Dragon or the next Baron could be the final play to win this game.
It's sold one way or another.
Okay, so a couple things. Number one, I do think G2's comp gets a little harder to execute later on into the game, because while they do have what is kind of considered a traditional front-to-back, their only backline really is Perkz, because Caps is going to want to look for flanks, and ideally not hard commit to a fight, but just look for picks. The problem is, if G2 don't have that vision, it's very easy for him to turn that around. Now, for Fnatic's side, their scaling is incredibly strong. You can see Rekkles' range is so excessive, and my observers are going to tell me in just a second how many stacks the Senna does have, but Nemesis with the double AD carry threat, with the Gangplank ultimate, they have a lot of damage, but they're very squishy. He has 117 sacks on the Senna right now, so like, you are full late game Senna, your range is insane, and like, the thing about Fnatic is, again, they have a lot of damage, a lot of range, but they're very squishy. If Caps finds anyone, he could almost one-shot pretty much any member.
He has so many targets.
And keep in mind, Rekkles has been the consistent rock all year long. Consistently high-performing. When the pressure was on, when the back were against the wall, Hylissang and Nemesis, the players that have been discussed and debated and argued about and criticized for so much of this summer season, have stepped up. 2-2-5 for Nemesis, 1-1-12 for Hylissang. His death sentences and his lanterns have been game-changing. The only reason we've got so much time to talk about this, both teams are committed to the Barons and the Dragon fights as G2 now start to back away. Predator there, used by Selfmade, and not going to look for any initiation. Instead, Fnatic barreling down the mid lane.
The map is in a position where G2 cannot risk a fight because there's no neutral objective open. If G2 lose a fight in this position, the game ends with the priority in the lanes. Fnatic have gathered the...
It's an Ashe arrow.
Yeah.
Solution.
It was witnessed, it was seen, easily dodged away with
That's
the
a hook.
relentless pursuit, and the death sentence won't be followed up on. The tension's too big. There's nothing to fight for. I think the right call from
the vote
Fnatic.
swinging back in favor of G2.
Oh, I love it. Just leave that up there for the rest of the game. That's exactly what you want to see. I mean, it is just teeter-totter this entire game.
The belief in G2 and the expectation that Fnatic will throw. I'm not sure if the fans are watching the same game, but Fnatic are not making those mistakes.
I mean, you know that the world is watching right now. Everyone wants to see G2 and Fnatic. These are going to be two of the most discussed names going into the World Championship, especially after G2's year last year, the fact that Fnatic caused so many upsets. And right now, a very intense Game 5. This game could literally go either way. Both teams fighting for that spot in the finals. And here we go!
Oh, Hylissang! Where's the death sentence? Where's the death sentence? Wunder is going to be able to escape for now.
It's Ashe!
Comes down the flame. Comes out as well. Dawning Shadow is good, but so is the Call of the Forge Guard. G2 running for their life. Showstopper brings Selfmade backwards, but Fnatic are able to jump around, surround him. That's
Caps!
does it! G2 Esports may have turned this one around. Rekkles, the rest of Fnatic start to back away. 2 more kills to G2. The arrow tags onto Hylissang. Nemesis will get some damage down. That's the pull backwards, but it's blown up. Jankos goes down. He will get taken out from the damage from Perkz though, and now G2 turn around. The fans predicted it, and G2 are pushing.
I think G2 won it all right here, Trevor. There's 2 members alive, Nemesis and Rekkles on the other side, but Caps finding 3 members in the backline with his LeBlanc. It's massive.
40-second death timer for Hylissang, 30 for Bwipo and Selfmade. The teleport is coming in from Wunder inside the base. It's up to Rekkles and Nemesis, the double ADs, to defend. Mikyx is going to jump forward. The Unbreakable will time out very, very shortly. The first Nexus turret is down. G2 Esports are pushing on Nemesis. Nemesis has forced his zone away. The culling! It takes down Wunder. Rekkles is getting the damage down though. The scaling, the late game.
Wait, Selfmade, 5 seconds! Selfmade, 5 seconds!
They've done it. Selfmade's going to come back alive. G2 get the Nexus turrets, but they don't get the game. They don't get the series. G2 do not advance to finals.
How in the world did that game not end? Nemesis with the ultimate comes up so clutch. The Drake now spawns in 35 seconds. Wunder does not have TP. He will be dead when the Drake is alive. Fnatic are very likely going to get the soul. And I'm like, what is Caps doing right now? Is he looking for a pick? Is he looking to clear out the wave?
Is he looking for the Nexus?
There's the ward though.
Is
It's going to spot him
for
out.
the back door?
He was going to find Nemesis as well. Nemesis was going to go there.
There's no ways. 43 minutes in, 13 kills to 17. 74k to 76k. You know what? The numbers don't freaking matter. The next team fight can dictate.
I thought the last team. Oh, no way.
But there's still wards here. Oh, no.
Caps almost get taken out. Apologies to headphone listeners, did not intend to scream that loud.
But we're still on the dragon. The Ocean Soul is... Oh, Nemesis! He just solo killed Caps!
Nemesis kills Caps. The soul goes to Fnatic. They kill Jankos as well. It's 5 versus 3. They can push into the base. Fnatic have everything they need to win the series.
I think that's it. I thought it was done and dusted. I thought G2 had won it all. But Fnatic have held the line. They get the kill onto Caps. They secure the Ocean Soul. 5 members strong. Fnatic are looking to end it.
With the world watching, with the criticism never being higher, with Nemesis and Hylissang.
Perkz is going for the Nexus! Perkz is going for the Nexus!
By fans, they turn this around. Now Perkz is pushing into the base. You are kidding me! This is a 5 versus 1 base race. There's one cannon minion to work with. It gets interrupted. Mikyx and Wunder are doing what they can. Nemesis is there to defend! Nemesis kills Perkz! And Fnatic turn their attention to the Nexus turret. They get one. Stop focusing down the second. The backdoor bonus is just about to end. Fnatic, for the first time since 2018, for the first time in 875 days, Fnatic take down G2. Fnatic are your summer finalists.
What an insane Game 5. Look at the elation on Fnatic's face. Such a hard-fought game. I thought that final team fight was it. I thought G2 had won it, but they held on to their Nexus. They were able to come back. Nemesis getting the kill onto Caps. And that will do it. That will move G2 into the lower bracket. Fnatic have locked a spot in finals.
Fnatic versus G2 never fails to deliver. Last summer in the same match, it went to 5. In the finals they met again, it went to 5 as well. These two teams playing just on a knife's edge in the final game.
You broke the table!
I broke the table, okay?
For the first time since 2018, Fnatic take down G2. 875 days. A best-of-5 victory. We were talking about Selfmade was supposed to make the team better, and it finally happened. They finally did it. Key player of the series at LEC, Selfmade, Rekkles, Hylissang. After Game 3 and Game 4, a series that arguably should have been 3-1 to G2. After G2 through Game 3, Fnatic have the mental fortitude to dig back and win Game 5 in that fashion.
It's just incredible. And to think, if that game hadn't been thrown, we would have never gotten this Game 5 as well. Like, this is one of the greats.
And it was such a great Game 5 too. Like the team fights were so intense. It came down literally to the final dragon, the very end. Like,
we had a base race at the end.
That was
like, giving us
so
all.
good.
Unbelievable.
So
and
good.
also the beauty in Nemesis taking out both Caps and Perkz. Solo kills as the last 2 kills for Fnatic there. Beautiful. Look, we're going to hear from Rekkles before Bwipo joins us in the post-game lobby. Don't go anywhere. TSM and C9, you got a hell of a series to follow up.
I broke the table.
What? Yes, what a series.
I think this patch was a bit rougher for us, but we picked it up now. That's like our biggest strength, I think, like the adaptability. I can already like taste the feeling of like being in finals and like playing against G2, probably having another rematch. But I think like outside of G2, I think like Rogue and Schalke should be the next best teams.
Will the sleep come in? It does, and Roman, they don't know he's here. Triple sleep, massive ulti across the entire time, but no, still Ornn doing so much damage, still trying to find a way out. Gilly is simply next on the list. No! Not like this. The triple Abadage wants to turn it, but it's not going to happen. Oh, I love it! Special, the kind of rush onto the face breaker. Rekkles going to be the first target here as he goes down.
And winning the LEC would be really cool to stop the G2 and Fnatic dynasty. And I think we have a really good shot at winning LEC. So I really hope we can take the chance and actually win it, because I think we can do it.
Just like a razor, murked up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. Not going there, turning heads, I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, caught up to the rock. 유행선 두자, 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like whoa, 달리 you don't go. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 말할래, 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high, 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아 나는 boss 간지 with the sauce 원하면 줄게. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모두 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. Coming at you loud, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddies do. I never going back, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddies do. It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. Live for a minute, baby, you should pack your bag. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I said. When you see me coming, get out of the way. Back in this lane, back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 해. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
Welcome back to the LEC as Fnatic defeated G2 in a best-of-5 series. And Rekkles, I remember that a couple of weeks back you told me that you lost confidence after playing G2 in finals in spring. What does it mean to you to win today?
It means that we have a lot of confidence again.
I mean, this game 5 was crazy, really, and we know how usually these things go when you take a best-of-5 series to 5 games against G2. So explain to me, how did you feel going into this game 5 and also defending the base with only 2 players against G2 to finally take the win, like the mental fortitude you guys had to win this series? Tell me about it, especially this game 5.
Yeah, so as you said, like we've had a really tough time against G2 now for a very long time. Yeah. Basically since the loss of Caps, so it's really tough to play games against them, regardless if it's a best-of-5 or a best-of-1 in the regular season, or if it's game 5 of the series or game 1 of the series. It's just that much extra on top of it. I don't know how to explain it better than that, but it just feels like it's always something more that weighs down on you. So in this game 5, we were obviously, as you could probably tell, super stressed out. Like we're trying our best to win the game, but we could clearly tell as well that there were chances of losing. So then we started making some mistakes, and they got a couple of picks here and there, and then that led to the 2-man defense into, I think, Tim solo killing Caps up top and us getting the smite on Soul. So it was down to very, very small things, and I think it may as well have been us losing in the last game. So I don't want to take it out as like we dismantled them in this series, because I feel like it could have honestly gone either way. So I'm just happy that like we got to be a part of another banger, you know. It's always amazing.
I mean, yeah, a lot of mistakes here and there, but in the end you won, and I mean, it was a banger of a game indeed. I mean, Ender broke the shoutcast desk. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but you're gonna see the pictures. Yeah, you see the video right now. Yeah, he actually broke the casting desk. That's how cool this game was. And I mean, let's talk a bit more about the series itself. 5 games, as we said. I want to talk about the bot lane, because we saw that G2 adapted throughout the series, banning Ez all the time, constantly, and prioritizing Senna. And then in game 4, they switched. They stopped banning Ez, which means that you have to ban Yuumi. And they start on picking Ashe, and then afterwards Senna. So talk me through the adaptation from Fnatic in the series, in the bot lane, regarding what G2 was doing.
So I think for us both this series, it was a lot about just surviving and making sure we could find use in the game. I feel like when Blue side ban AD carries and they first pick AD carry as well, they will always get whatever they want, and you just kind of have to take what's left open. So in my case, that was sometimes Jhin, sometimes Senna. I didn't really get to choose. It was just whatever they wanted me to play, sort of, and then they could pick first, so they could like basically choose the matchup. And in that sense, I feel like then that puts us in a situation where we just need to survive. We need to find use in the game, and I think we did pretty well in that regard. I didn't play like superb or anything, but I feel like we always found use in the game, and I think that's honestly all we have to do when we have these kind of players. Like I don't need to be a carry in my team, so I'm more than happy to just take a backseat role.
That's interesting, actually. Who do you think was the best performing players in Fnatic tonight?
I think everyone had their moments, but our style revolves a lot around Oscar, so I feel like he's an easy choice. I feel like, I mean, we give him the resources, so on one hand you could say it's easy for him, but on the other hand I feel like there's not a lot of players that can, first of all, make use of the resources, but second of all, also ask for them. I feel like it's a very undervalued thing to have in a team, someone asking for resources and basically like making you feel like if you give them anything, they will like take the game for you. So everyone's playing for win, and I think then it's like really easy to just like revolve around Oscar, and I think in this case he played super well with everything we gave him.
Now we've been through every aspect of Fnatic. You will play in the grand finals next week, and I mean, you got the confidence back, which is good. So what can we expect from Fnatic in this next series you will have?
You can probably expect another banger. I feel like it's not going to be possible to go around that whenever we face G2. Not only for the fact that there is this extra I talked about earlier, but also for the fact that they're just insanely good at the game. I don't know how it looks from the outside, like on the series, because I haven't read anything yet or rewatched the games. But my feeling in the games was, as I said earlier, like it could have gone either way. And even the games we were winning, or either the games they were winning, it was always like the losing teams were still doing stuff. I guess in our cases we were doing less than they were when we were losing our games, but still, like, it's always close and it's always a banger. And I just think, yeah, you can't really expect anything else if we were to face them in the finals, that is.
That is what we love the most about Fnatic and G2, and I'm glad you love it also. So please give us like five games next time you face them, and otherwise I will see you next week. Anyway, thank you very much, Rekkles, for the interview, and
Thanks
congrats on winning against G2 tonight.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to take one last break, and we'll come back in this studio with the Jankos, Shox, and Bwipo for PGL. Stay tuned, guys.